In many ways, funerary practices have changed little since Roselawn first offered perpetual care over 100 years ago. Then, as now, the living needed to know that their loved ones would always have a safe and serene place in which to rest. The early 1900s saw the rise of the rural cemetery movement. At the time, cemetery designers were inspired by romanticized notions of art, nature, and national identity. What they created were peaceful rolling hills, tree-shaded boulevards, and sun-dappled artworks and memorials.
Well, Roselawn was founded in around 1902. They had a vision. They thought they were building one out in the country, of course, back then, and they commissioned Cass Gilbert to construct these buildings, which are now basically an historical registry. They're all the walls are like 2.5 feet thick. I mean, these buildings are here to stay.
The Roselawn of the early 20th century remains today a peaceful, park-like part of the community. From the original chapel and service buildings with its quaint sanctuary and gathering rooms, the enduring strength of the people who built Minnesota is reflected in Roselawn. But as the needs and beliefs of modern mourners change, Roselawn is evolving with them. Today, artwork is still part of the scenery, but it tastefully reflects new thinking in art. When patrons enter, they're greeted by Paul Granlund's sculpture, Resurrection.
Paul was the son of a Lutheran minister, and this just doesn't scream of one particular faith, but rather is almost his own personal vision of resurrection. So on the other side, there's a little fetal image, and you have these two opposing forces and this geometry of almost life that sits between these things, and our lives are kind of coming out of that, or that positive figures coming out of that experience. So it gives you a lot to think about. It's been, I think, a wonderful symbol of hope and the cycle of life that's, and this is what a perfect location since, 91. I think that's a great thing for this cemetery.
As times and tastes have changed, burial practices have changed too. Funeral costs have risen and space has become limited, so cremation has become an option that more and more people use in funeral planning. But the one thing that hasn't changed is that those who remain behind still want a place of memorial for their loved ones. To that end, Roselawn has developed its Garden of Remembrance. This peaceful area near the northern part of Roselawn offers 3 options. The new and unique ossuary with its centerpiece bronze ball in which cremains are placed for burial. Each step in the circular garden pathway leading to the sculpture is guided by blocks of granite bearing the names of the deceased.
So part of this idea is this walk, that you take this journey, if you will, to come to the place where the dead are gathered. And that when you come here, you might come to inter ashes, or you might come back for a visit. And you're going to pass the name of your loved one on one of these blocks. And when you get up here, there's something to touch. There's something, there's a handprint that fits your hand, no matter how old you are or what age you are. And also, I think another kind of profound aspect of this is because the ball is polished, you see yourself reflected in the ball. And to me, it kind of dawns on me that I'm the one carrying these memories. I'm the one that keeps these people alive.
Another option is above-ground interment in the Roselawn Community Mausoleum. Built with Mankato limestone and a red slate roof to match the chapel, its bronze niche wall is a bas-relief depicting a northwoods setting, complete with pine trees and 2 loons on one of our 10,000 lakes.
It's actually been told it's the largest sculptured bronze niche wall in the world, and it depicts northwoods scene like northern Minnesota with lakes and trees and loons. Very Minnesota.
Finally, much of Roselawn's 160 original acres is still unused, ensuring the availability of in-ground burials for the more traditional patrons. For over 100 years, the guiding principle of Roselawn is the belief that service is paramount. In fact, Roselawn is the first cemetery in the area to build a searchable online records database, allowing patrons to find their loved ones from any internet-connected computer. As a non-profit organization, Roselawn is an association administered by lot owners.
It's made up of a board of trustees who have to be lot owners here. All their work is 100% volunteer.
Volunteers who continue their work to ensure financial viability and service well into the future, creating a peaceful and sustainable environment for the living and those at rest.
You know, you're here to help the families. You're here to provide a service for the community, and you know that's what you got to take home with you.
Roselawn is non-sectarian and non-denominational, providing a welcome place for all who come here. Roselawn, perpetual care for our community for all time.